For the last year or so, we have seen Kris Bryant trade rumors, but in the last month or so, the trade rumors have started to heat up. And there are two teams that are most likely going to land Kris Bryant via trade. And those teams are the Mets or the Toronto Blue Jays. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. But before we get into this video, 68% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, leave a like on this video. Yeah, let's keep this intro short. Let's get into the video. Kris Bryant had a terrible 2020 season, which has lowered his trade value a ton. But we all know that Kris Bryant is a very good player, and 2020 was a really weird season, like everybody says. 60-game season to begin with. He was drafted in the 2013 draft, second overall by the Chicago Cubs. There's one thing that the Cubs have done to make Kris Bryant not too happy, and that was in 2015, before they called him up. When he was clearly ready to be called up, he was completely destroying the minor leagues. They did not. So he would have less service time, which would mean he would become a free agent 1 year later. And I mean, they were right to keep him under that for another year or so because he's a stud. I mean, he's a very good player, and he would be a free agent if it wasn't for that service time manipulation or whatever you want to call it there. He won Rookie of the Year in 2015, and just 1 year later, in his second season in Major League Baseball, he won the NL Most Valuable Player Award. He is a three-time All-Star once in 2015, 2016, and 2019. In 2020, he had 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in, and a 206 batting average. But 2019 was more of the Kris Bryant that we know, where he had 31 home runs, 77 runs batted in, and a 282 batting average. And not to mention, in 2019, he was injured for some of the season, and he battled some injuries as well in 2020, which obviously did make his season not too good for him. But his standards, like a down season for him, would be a pretty good season for a lot of other players in Major League Baseball. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Mets and the Blue Jays and who I think will trade for Kris Bryant. And the Mets are a team this offseason that are finally spending money like a big market team, which New York is one, if not the biggest market in all of sports. But the Mets have also said they do not want to give up a ton of prospects, which is what I think the Cubs are looking for back in potential trade. The Mets have a decent farm system for the future and would really fit the timeline of where the Cubs would be back competing if the Mets are willing to give up some prospects, which I think they should be because Kris Bryant's trade value is at an all-time low and it would cost a lot more to possibly get him at the 2021 trade deadline. Now with this trade, it looks like Hendricks could maybe be moved to this trade as well, but the Mets really do not need Hendricks. Do not get me wrong, Hendricks is a great pitcher, but the Mets really do not need him that much with players like Carrasco, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman, all in their rotation. I would say that maybe a Albert Award Jr. would be packaged with Bryant in this deal. The Mets have had previous interest this offseason in Almore. Now let's draw up some trades for Kris Bryant to go to New York to the Mets. So yeah, this one trade is going to be the trade for where you're giving up some farm system pieces. Where Mark Vientos is going to be the main piece of this trade. He's the Mets' number 7 prospect who has an ETA of 2022. J.D. Davis, who's up in the major leagues right now. Obviously, it has performed at a pretty good level. But you don't need him if you're getting a star third baseman. I mean, there's no point in needing him. So, yeah. And you're going to be getting Robert Dominguez, the right-handed pitcher, Mets number 11 prospect, who has an ETA of 2024. Freddie Valdez, a right-handed pitcher, the Mets number 14 prospect, and the Mets number 24 prospect, who has an ETA of 2022, and Jose Batou. Now, the next trade is going to be a trade without giving up the prospects, that kind of trade. Kris Bryant to the Mets for J.D. Davis, Brandon Nimmo, and Joe Lucchesi. I don't see that there's a way this trade gets done at all. I think if you're willing to give up this type of prospect haul for the Mets here, I think he definitely will consider it. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about the Toronto Blue Jays, who I think are more likely to trade for Bryant than the Mets. They have a top farm system in Major League Baseball right now and a lot of players that fit the timeline of most of these young Cubs prospects. The Blue Jays have already had a very good offseason, signing George Springer, Kirby Yates, Marcus Semien, and others this offseason. It has also been rumored that Kris Bryant could be included in this trade, and that would be great for the Blue Jays. Hendricks is a number 2 or number 3, in my opinion. On the World Series contender, the Blue Jays have a lot of cap space and could possibly sign a Bauer if they wanted to, even with a Kris Bryant trade and trading for Hendricks. Now let's draw up some trades for Kris Bryant to go to Toronto. The Blue Jays have signed Marcus Semien, like I said, who is probably their starting third baseman. But there is a way that maybe they move Kevin Biggio to the outfield, that Semien would play second and Kris Bryant at third. Or you could have Bryant play first base and move Guerrero to the DH position. So just because they signed Semien does not really mean that they are totally out on Bryant, but it is much more of a team need, I think, to get a Bauer or a starting pitcher, maybe like a James Paxton, in my opinion. But here are two trades that could work for Kris Bryant and Kyle Hendricks to go to Toronto. First trade, Kris Bryant and Kyle Hendricks to the Blue Jays for Xavier Woods Richardson, the number 4 prospect for the Blue Jays, who could be up this season. Otto Lopez, the number 13 prospect for the Jays, second at shortstop, and his ETA is 2022. Deshaun Brown, the number 16 prospect for the Jays, an outfielder, ETA 2023. Joey Murray, the Jays' number 30 prospect, who could be up as early as the season as a right-handed pitcher. And the second trade here is Kris Bryant and Kyle Hendricks to the Jays for Orslavius Martinez, the number 7 Jays prospect. Otto Lopez, number 13 prospect for the Jays, second at shortstop. Deshaun Brown and Joey Murray. I think the first trade is definitely more likely of the trade that gets done here. Maybe you even include, instead of Xavier Woods Richardson here, like an Alex Minano or somebody, maybe even a Jordan Groshans. I don't really see a Jordan Groshans getting moved here. It could happen, though. I mean, trades are crazy, and it could definitely happen. So, yeah, Mets, Jays look to be the teams that Kris Bryant will be traded to if he's traded to this offseason. I think that they should personally wait till the trade deadline because you're going to get a lot more back. And let's be brutally honest that this Cubs team, they need the prospects. Their prospect farm system is not very good, so they definitely should try to get the more prospects, the better here, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think they should wait, but if they don't, and if a trade happens this offseason, the Mets or the Jays are definitely the teams that he most likely will be traded to. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Before I end this video, though, 68% of you that watch these videos and not subscribe, get your life together. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, leave a like on the video. Yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Hopefully the hot stove starts to heat back up, and maybe we do get a Kris Bryant trade. That would be very interesting and one of the bigger moves of the offseason. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and peace.